Wouldn't you love a bigger tax refund? TaxSlayer's been rated the #1 for maximum refund. TaxSlayer.com. More money. Slay it. Greg Cosell, top of next hour. Dan Shaughnessy, great columnist, Boston Globe, will be joining us. And I'm giving you everything I got today because I'm taking tomorrow off and going skiing. So I'm giving you everything I got today.
So do you normally like LeBron James it and kind of give you
I take
like
a second. No, I am all in today. So, listen, I don't like to criticize the media. Like, I don't really pay attention to a lot of it. I'm not into all that conflict and garbage. But I do believe that the two things have happened to the media and that changed. It used to be when I was a kid growing up, like you look to the media to be objective. Social media has unveiled the truth. The media is completely biased. In politics, every conservative that runs for anything's a bad human being. It's like, come on, you got to be fair on some of this stuff. You don't have to love Trump, but write some articles with some objectivity. The second thing that's happened in my life that I don't really get is that, like, the media now is like fanboys. Like, media no longer reports in sports, they support. How can you pick on John Wall? Why don't you cover your team and put the pom-poms down, you goober? John Wall's been an underachiever, period. He can't even get along in his locker room, can't even hold a team meeting right. But sometimes I defend the media because the media has to deal with Belichick's and Popovich's, and they have to deal with some of these jerky athletes. And I don't believe in this whole fake news thing. I don't think the media creates fake news. I think the media can be wrong, just like sometimes you go to a hospital and they screw stuff up. Sometimes your realtor, your insurance agent, your school teacher, everybody screws up, right? But there are times that I get frustrated with the media because I think we're creating narratives that aren't true. The current one is, like, with Tom Brady, he may just walk off after the Super Bowl. I've heard this now. I'm reading this column, like, what if he leaves after the Super Bowl? And I'm like, okay, you do get his brand is age defiance. Okay, and you also get he's the MVP this year. Brady is not going to retire. Yesterday, a veteran reporter, Mike Florio, had a Patriot player, Scott Zolak, who's now a broadcaster, on his show, and he asked a question too.
You think there's a chance that if they win it all this year, Tom Brady surprises everyone and walks off into the sunset?
No, absolutely not, especially with Jimmy not being here. No, I don't. I really don't. I think it's two more. I think it's you play next week, you hope you win, and I think he has two more realistic seasons left.
Okay. There is 0% chance Tom Brady walks off. Don't ask a question if there's 0% chance. He's not walking off. His brand is age defiance, living forever. He's releasing a documentary. I think he released part 1 today. It's got 6 parts. It runs all next week. He's not retiring, and he's the MVP. Nobody's asking if Drew Brees is leaving. Drew Brees is the smaller athlete who has had the worst offensive line, and he's 39. Nobody was pushing Peyton Manning out the door. He was on his 4th neck surgery and was awful. Tom is bigger, stronger than Brees, better offensive lines than Brees. This is the first year Brady's been hit, and he's still amazing. And he's not awful or has 4 neck surgeries or a numb throwing finger on a 40-degree day like Peyton had his last year. The other thing is, sometimes, like, I just don't think the media people quite understand the way it works. To end up Warren Buffett, would you ask Warren Buffett, hey, Warren, if you make another $1 billion next year, will you stop investing? Of course not. That's what he does. Bobby Flay, if you win the James Beard Award, will you stop the restaurant career? Well, of course not. There was a great scene in an average movie. It was Shia LaBeouf and Josh Brolin. Talented actors were in Wall Street 2. And listen to this scene. This is Brady. This is Buffett. This is Bobby Flay.
What's your number? The amount of money you would need to just walk away from it and live. See, I find that everybody has a number, and it's usually an exact number. So what is yours?
More.
More. There isn't a number Warren Buffett can make and stop, or an award Bobby Flay can win and stop cooking. There isn't more for the great author, the great investor. The great teacher never gets tired of teaching. It's in her or his blood. There isn't a number for Tom Brady. If he wins this one, if you work at a lug nut factory, a post office, there are jobs physically, longshoreman, factory worker. You're beat up physically. You work outside. You don't make a ton. Like, I understand there are jobs with an end date. Newspaper reporter, quarterback MVP of the Patriots. More. That's the number. More. You don't get to Warren Buffett and Brady with a number. You don't. That's not in your blood. It's not in your DNA. I saw Oprah yesterday. She said, I'm not running for president. And they said, why not? And she said, it's not in my DNA. That's not in my DNA. Like, we forget about this stuff. Coaches, and we're always trying to change players. Like, you get like Johnny Manziel. Coaches draft him. Yeah, we're going to change Johnny Manziel. He's a spoiled brat. He was at 7. He was at 17. He was at 24. You're not going to change people. Yeah. The documentary he released this morning is called Tom versus Time. Not Tom has a number. Tom's about to retire. His brand is age defiance. They're not going anywhere. By the way, speaking of movies, I watched the movie last night.
Which one?
The Post.
Oh, yeah. Did you like it?
I think if you're over 40, it's a great movie.
Yeah, I went to see it, and it made me want to go back to school and pay attention more in history class.
Yeah, it's.
But it was good.
Yeah. By the way, we have actually a clip. Tom versus Time is this new documentary from Brady. So it got released this morning. I think it was like 9 o'clock Eastern. He's going to, I think every other day he's going to release. It's kind of weird. The timing's odd. He's releasing it in Super Bowl week. Here's Tom versus Time. Play it.
You got to block out the noise.